Have you ever wondered what it would be like to meet aliens? Would they be peaceful, like in the movies? Or would they see us as something less, something they could use? Let me tell you what happened to me. A story you won't forget. And if you love chilling tales like this, don't forget to subscribe for more. It started on a quiet night. I live in a small town surrounded by woods. Nothing much happens here, and that's the way I liked it. But one night, everything changed. I was sitting on my porch, staring at the stars when I saw it. A light, bright and unnatural. At first, I thought it was a plane or maybe a shooting star, but it wasn't. It was moving too fast, zigzagging across the sky in a way no aircraft could. My stomach tightened, and my heart raced. Have you ever seen something so strange you couldn't look away? The light stopped directly above the woods behind my house. Then slowly it descended. I stood frozen, watching as it disappeared behind the trees. I don't know what made me do it, but I grabbed a flashlight and started walking toward the woods. Would you have done the same? The air felt different as I got closer to the trees. Heavy, charged. My flashlight flickered as I stepped into the forest, but I kept going. The light from the object was gone, but there was a faint hum in the air, low and constant. It made my teeth ache. After walking for what felt like hours, I found it. A ship, or at least, that's what I thought it was. It was smooth and black, like polished stone, but it shimmered faintly, as if it wasn't entirely solid. It stood on three thin legs, and the air around it seemed to ripple, like heat waves. My hands were shaking as I reached out to touch it, but before I could, I heard a noise behind me, a soft rustling, like footsteps. I spun around, my flashlight cutting through the darkness. "Hello," I called out. My voice sounded small and afraid. There was no answer, but the sound didn't stop. It was getting closer, and then I saw it, a figure just at the edge of the light. It was tall, impossibly tall, with limbs that seemed too long for its body. Its skin was gray and smooth, almost metallic, and its eyes were black and endless, like staring into a void. My breath caught in my throat. It didn't look like anything I'd ever seen before, and it was staring right at me. "What do you want?" I whispered, my voice trembling. The creature tilted its head, as if it was studying me. Then it took a step forward. My instincts screamed at me to run, but I couldn't move. I was rooted to the spot, trapped in its gaze. It raised one of its long, spindly arms, and for a moment, I thought it was reaching out to me. But then I saw what it was holding, a device, small and silver, with glowing blue lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. The hum in the air grew louder, and suddenly, my head was filled with a sharp, piercing noise. I dropped to my knees, clutching my ears. The pain was unbearable, like my skull was being split open. "Stop!" I screamed, but the creature didn't stop. It stepped closer, its void-like eyes never leaving mine. Just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, the noise stopped. I gasped for air, my vision blurry. When I looked up, the creature was gone. The ship, too, had vanished, as if it had never been there. But I wasn't alone. My flashlight flickered again, and that's when I saw them. More figures stepping out from the shadows. They looked like the first one, but smaller, and they moved faster. They surrounded me, their movements jerky and unnatural. One of them leaned in close, its face inches from mine. Its breath smelled metallic like blood. I scrambled to my feet and ran. I don't know how I found my way out of the woods, but somehow, I did. When I reached my house, I slammed the door and locked it, my chest heaving. But the humming sound followed me. It was inside my head, growing louder and louder until I thought I would go mad. And then just as suddenly it stopped. The house was silent, too silent. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and backed into a corner, my eyes darting around the room. Hours passed, but nothing happened. Eventually, I fell asleep, clutching the knife like a lifeline. When I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight streamed through the windows, and everything seemed normal. Almost. But when I looked in the mirror, I saw something that made my blood run cold. A mark, faint but unmistakable, on the side of my neck. 3 small dots, arranged in a perfect triangle. I tried to tell myself it was just a rash or a bug bite, but deep down, I knew the truth. They had done something to me. The question was what? Over the next few days, strange things started happening. Electronics in my house would flicker on and off. My phone would vibrate randomly, displaying garbled messages I couldn't read. And I started hearing things. Whispers just on the edge of hearing. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but they grew louder. "We're watching you," they said. "You belong to us." I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. Their black, endless eyes staring at me. Their long limbs reaching out. I tried to tell people, but no one believed me. They said I was dreaming or stressed or imagining things. But you believe me, don't you? One night, I woke up to find my bedroom filled with light. Bright, blinding light. I couldn't move. My body felt heavy, like something was holding me down. And then I saw them, standing at the foot of my bed, their void-like eyes glowing faintly in the light. One of them leaned down, its face inches from mine. "You're coming with us," it said, its voice echoing inside my head. The next thing I knew, I was in the woods again. The ship was there, its surface shimmering in the moonlight. The creatures surrounded me, their long limbs moving in perfect unison. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. They lifted me, carrying me toward the ship. The last thing I remember is the door closing behind me, the hum growing louder and louder until everything went black. I woke up in my bed, drenched in sweat. The mark on my neck was gone, but I felt different, changed, and I wasn't alone. I could feel them in the back of my mind, watching, waiting. The whispers haven't stopped. Sometimes, when the lights flicker, I see their eyes staring back at me. I don't know what they did to me that night, but I know one thing for sure. They're not done with me, and they're not done with us. The first contact wasn't friendly. It was a warning. Would you want to know what happens next? Make sure to subscribe, because this